Hi there. My name is Sue Johnston, and I'm a senior, and I'm part two of the two parts of seniors, two seniors camping. And basically, actually, I started my channel with crafts and ideas and things that seniors do that we get involved in after we retire. And then one day I put up a video about camping, and that seemed to have gone wild. So it put my videos over the top and eventually got me monetized, which was fine. Um, and then eventually, as I went along, I decided to separate my craft and knitting ideas and create a separate channel, which I did. Now, life goes on, and I've had this channel probably a couple years now, and I can't go camping every week. And I don't like having to try to come up with camping ideas every week. And so I've diversified a little bit and did things like decluttering, which is something camping taught me that I can live with a lot less. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to tell you some of the things that are going on in my life right now as a senior, things I didn't expect would occur. And that is, I'm aging physically, and that's fine, I'm managing it. My husband's aging in a different way. He's aging more cognitively, let's say. I met a lady and she said of her husband he has memory problems. Well, some of us do get that as we age. But what I have found with my husband is that he does have a mild form of dementia, and that's fine. I've been making adjustments to it. I'm a retired counselor, and I'm interested in the whole psychology of aging. And I do remember all of my studies on it, but when you actually go through it and experience it, it's totally different. And you realize that life does not follow a textbook order, the contents, aging, what it's like, physical, mental, emotional. It's going to vary for everybody. And I'm learning that firsthand with my husband. I love him and I like him, and I remind him of that quite often because he's also aware of the changes that are going on. So, more recently, and one reason why I've been having sort of a slowdown in creating videos here is that he went through 9 days of delirium, which was really kind of a shock for me. I never heard the term, I don't ever recall studying it, but there are different forms. And his took on the form of, I could call it like, how many people are in the house. So he would get up and make me coffee like he does every day. God bless him. And but one morning he asked me, he said, how many people were we making coffee for? Because our son has already cleared off, meaning he thought he was in the house. And he would do things like, when did your friends leave? And after I took him to the doctors, he explained to me that he actually saw people or a pet, and all the people that he saw or pets are either no longer with us or deceased. So that was like, ooh, that's interesting, and that's a certain type of delirium. Then after 9 days, he went back to normal. It was gone. And we did go to the doctor during that time. So she's running tests, as they do. There were no physical causes that we could find. He did have a CT scan, and they've decided they're going to go ahead with an MRI, magnetic imaging, whatever. MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. Anyways, so we're looking after it. In the meantime, I live with him, so a lot of adjustments occur. And I am making those adjustments, and I'm learning a lot of things about dementia. He does not have Alzheimer's. I know that. I know that through my studies, and I know that through the doctor visit. But I also know that Alzheimer's is just one type of dementia. There's all different kinds. What concerns me the most is not so much the dementia because he's 83 and that's bound to happen. It's the delirium when it comes up. Um, he got up the other morning very early, turned on the light, which woke me up, And he said, "We've got 20 people coming for breakfast." Okay. And he headed towards the door, and then he reasoned with himself as he's waking up more. He reasoned that if the door is locked, there's no way anybody came in. So there wasn't 20 people. And eventually he reasoned his way through it. So there's funny little things like that going on. And that really takes your time and attention. So I thought, I mean, we do plan on camping, and we've had a few spring days, and then resort back to winter. So hey, surprise, March is like that in Ontario. It's like that in a lot of places, probably. We are booked at one campground in June, and we do plan on just doing some of those outdoor activities, in part because we still want to live life. One of the things that we do together is we talk about what's going on with him so that it's not me having conversations with other people, the doctor, let's say, without him being present. But we talk about it together because we're a couple and we're connected. And I want to stay connected. I want to keep him as long as I can. And we've talked about that as well. The option of going somewhere, being somewhere looked after by somebody else, it is not an option. It's not on the table. That's it. And, you know, if it happens that, these circumstances are completely out of my hand, I said to him, I'm going with you. I don't care. I'm here together. And that's it. So I've been able to have those reassuring conversations with him. And I think they have reassured him. We've both were married twice. Both of us had a first very bad marriage. And for him, there was a lot of infidelity. For me, there was a lot of emotional abuse and some infidelity. We're both very committed people, but circumstances beyond our control shook us both out of our first marriages. And fortunately, after 4.5 years for me, 7.5 years for him, we found each other. And honestly, it's the storybook ending. So I'm grateful for that. And also for that and other reasons, I like him a lot. I'm keeping him. That's it. So I'm learning a lot of things about this, and we are making adjustments. I have him writing in a memory book where he can write down stories that he recalls, or even just a list of things he wants to remember for that day. We take it day by day. We are reading together. He's reading on his own. Two books he's reading are written by Dick Van Dyke, who lived a lot of years, still living. And one is Dick Van Dyke, Move Again, I think that's, or Keep Moving. That's it. That's my memory. I'm 71. What can I tell you? And the other one is 100 Rules to Live to Be 100. So he's reading those, and we read together, or I read to him, and sometimes he reads to me. He likes when I read to him because I have a good voice for it. So we're doing things like that. We're waiting for the weather to improve, but in the meantime, we still shovel our driveway and snow blow it, and look after the car and things like that. He's still pretty self motivated. He used to love to cook, and he gave it up. One time he told me he doesn't like cooking. I'm like, you used to make this great lamb curry. What happened? He says, did I? We showed him the recipe. Oh, okay. So now he's going back to cooking as a matter of discipline for him, because he also wants to take whatever steps he can to keep the brain active. And that's the thing. It's not a matter of us having to sit down and say, well, this is happening and that's all we can do, and just sit back and just let it happen. No, there are ways that you can exercise your brain just like you exercise muscles. So we're doing that. So I'll keep you posted. And I'm curious to know if any of you seniors have experienced your partner with episodes of delirium, because for Stanley, they come and they go. And the 9 days was the longest it had ever occurred. So I'm curious to know if you've ever experienced that, because I'd love to hear your stories. So this is us, two seniors living life. and we will be camping. So God bless and thanks for listening. Share your comments. And do that thumbs up and all that stuff. Cheers.
So you used to like to cook, and then you quit cooking, and now you're back. So in this dinner, I'm surprised at how well it turned out in the crock pot, because usually they say put the potatoes in the bottom. But what did you do?
Well, if it's frozen meat, in this case chicken legs frozen, you put them in and put it on high in a slow cooker for about 4 hours. And then in the meantime, during the cooking, you're throwing in onions, potatoes, carrots, and of course then you spice up everything with some type of sauce of your pleasure. And let it go, and after about 4 hours or so, check your potatoes, and if they're cooked, you're probably good to slow it to 1 notch.
So you turned it down to low.
Yeah, low. Excuse me. Anyway, this is what you call chunky stew. Take a good look.
So chicken legs, and you put some type of
onions,
like a barbecue sauce on them,
Kraft barbecue sauce,
and then onions, and then carrots and potatoes. And he gave me a taste. I haven't had mine yet, and it tastes really good.
Tastes what?
It tastes really good.